Well, welcome to our 2022 Tracer 260BHSLE. Starting right at the back bumper here. If you just reach in, pull that cap out of there. Inside of the back bumper, you're going to find your sewer hose. So as you pull that out, you'll find those two ears in the adapter there. Just take note of those because that's how we'll be hooking it up to your sewer system. And then the hose itself, once fully extended, is about 20 feet long. Just keeping it stored in the back bumper back here just help keep any sort of stench out of the unit, keep things that bit fresher. And then that bumper cap just presses back into place. In this corner, as well as in each corner of the trailer, you're going to find these stabilizer jacks here. So all that they do is they just run down, contact the ground, give it another turn or so just to firm it up, and that'll just get rid of any sort of bounce or sway that you see you got in the unit right now, just to keep things firm while you're out camping. A step ahead from there, and we get your power inlet. So as you pop that open, you're just going to find a little notch in the bottom corner there. It's going to line up with this notch here. Just as you line those up, you're going to press it into place, give it a eighth turn, that'll lock it into place. Then you have the threaded collar in the back to really lock it down. Following the cord back, you're going to find a standard 30 amp end there. Most campsites are going to have that. You're able to just plug straight on in and you're good to go. We do also provide you with a 15 amp adapter, so if you're looking to plug in at home to charge your batteries or run your fridge, you got the power to do so. Kind of up underneath the trailer from there, we're going to find your sewer outlet. So that cap, you're just going to kind of press on it and give it a turn, then you can pop it out of there. You see it's got the same ears on it that your sewer hose had, so that'll attach the same way where you're just pressing it in, giving it a turn, and it locks in. On the left you get a gray valve, on the right you get a black. So that black valve is controlling your black tank. Your black tank is filtering your toilets. It's of course going to be your dirtiest water, so we'll be dumping that first. Once that's done, you can then come to the gray. You'll dump that last to help. The gray tank will be filled from your sinks as well as your showers. So that'll typically be cleaner water, so we'll be dumping that last to help keep that hose as clean as possible. Straight up from there, we'll find your exterior shower. So you're going to get a key just like this guy here. You can stick it on into there and open it on up. You get hot and cold water with the standard head and hose. Right, so if the dog's out getting muddy, you can spray him off where he gets inside. Once you're done, you're just tucking it back in, locking it back down. And up above that, we get your city water connection. So you just pop that cap out of there and your water hose will plug into there, turn on the water, and that'll just pressurize the water lines throughout the unit. Making our way towards the front. We got your fresh water inlet there up top, so you just pop that cap out and your water hose will stick into there, turn on the water, and that fills up the freshwater tank. Down below that we get your cable inlet, so just a coax cable will plug into there, fires up at your TV location. Down below that is a Furion solar panel plug-in, so just a Furion plug will go into there. As it gets the sun, it'll charge your batteries. Down below there, these two lines out front are your low point drains. So the purpose of those is just to be able to open those up, allows the water system to drain itself out. The reason you'd want to do that is if you're leaving the unit for a while and you don't want the water going stale or stagnant, or if your boat's winterized the unit, you just want to drain all the water out before pumping antifreeze through. The one in the back there's your freshwater tank drain, so just as you open that up, it just drains out the freshwater tank. While you're filling up your freshwater tank, that is just a little vent back there, so once you start seeing the water spitting out of there, that's your freshwater tank full. One end of your storage compartment here, just the magnetic latch holds it open. Inside of there we'll find your water hose, and inside of that water hose is your park adapter. So your 30 amp cord into there, 15 amp to a standard outlet. This panel right here just has a few screws in it, so 1 and 2, 3, and then 4, and then you can slide it out of the way and you get access to your water pump. So if you're looking to winterize the unit yourself, once it comes time, you're just doing that right in there. And around to the front, we got a little service light out here. And that little black box here is your battery box, so it's just housing your battery there. And as long as you're plugged in through that short cord in the back, or your 7-pin into your tow vehicle, that battery is charging for you. These two black knobs there, if you just loosen those off and push them back, you can open up the flap and you get access to your propane tanks. For the video, I will just pop this off. I can show you your changeover back here. So it's currently pointed over to the left tank here, so we're running off of that one there. So you're going to see that indicator there is just gone green. It's just letting us know that we've got propane in the system. If it were to go red, it's just letting you know that you've no longer got any propane in the system. So at that point, you just take that arrow, flip it over to the other tank, and run off of that one while you get the other one filled. In front, you get a standard tongue jack. It's one ways up, the other ways down. And on the side, we get the other end of your storage compartment. So inside of here, you're going to find, first of all, a little light. On top of that light is a little dual function switch. You can't really see it that great from out here, but I'll show you one inside that works the exact same. But basically it is a motion sensing light. Right. Then right here we just got your little jack there for running all of your stabilizers, so that just fits onto the end there. You can run them up or down. Little leash latch here, so if you got the dog with you, you can tie him down. And making our way back, you get another geofire protected outlet. Right, it's a grease that's just inside of the unit. Straight up from there, we get your 2 exterior speakers. And then just the exhaust to your furnace there. So if you're ever running your furnace, you just want to make sure that's not blocked off. It does get hot. Little storage compartment in the back here. And then right in the back of the unit, we get your hot water tank. So you just get that one little keyway there. So you just line that up and it pops on open. All of your controls for turning this guy on are just inside of the unit. Before we ever turn it on though, we just want to hit this relief valve right there. Make sure that bit of water comes out. That bit of water coming out is just letting you know that tank is full. It's safe to fire it up and you're not going to burn anything out by doing so. Once you're done, you're just going to lock it back down. Then we get lastly back here, you get your spare tire. And straight up from there, you'll find a pre-wired mount for a rear view or observation camera. So now we'll make our way inside the unit. Here's this handle just up 90 degrees and it falls into place and you can open up the door. The door is just on a friction hinge, so it just kind of sits wherever you leave it. And I'll just show you real quick that if you've got it wide open, it does run into your awning arm. So if you're ever running your awning, you just want to make sure that your door is at about 90 degrees or so. For the steps, you're just going to grab it and pull straight on out. Flip that last step over. And then we can step inside. So as you get in here, first things first is right on the left to get your fire extinguisher. So that's standard, pull the pin, point and shoot. See drawers here just give you access to that, access to the storage underneath your sink. Straight up from there we get your light switches. The one on the left does all your interior lights. The one in the center there does your awning light outside. And the one on the right will do your speaker lights outside. Your slide out switch, as you press and hold out, your slide will make its way out. Once that slide's fully extended, you're just going to hear some clicks from the motors letting us know they've reached their stall. Great. Okay. Awning in the bottom left there, so we press and hold out and the awning will make its way out. Once that awning's fully extended, you're going to see a little black flap come down as well as the black metal tube. Once you see that, you're going to want to stop. If you're to continue extending, it can actually wind itself up backwards, in which case the fabric will be underneath your tube, allowing it to then hold water and accelerating the growth of mold and mildew. So there's your flap, and there's the tube, so we'll stop right there. And if it were to start raining, it's of course going to hold some water anyways, so what you can do is grab either arm, front, or rear, and you just pull down on it. And you can see that changes the pitch of the awning out at the head, allowing water to then run off. And if you like that angle better, because it does give you more shade, you can do the same thing with the arm up front. Before you bring it back in though, you just want to make sure these arms are back out straight and fully extended, just so we're not running the risk of bending them. And then we'll press and hold in, that awning will make its way back in. Again, you're just going to watch and make sure that your fabric is over top of the tube. Also just checking that we're not grabbing the door as well, right? And another thing to keep in mind with the awning is once you get up to about 15-20 kilometers an hour wind, it does catch all that wind, so you want to bring it back in, again, just so you're not running the risk of bending your arms. And there we go. So right above your entrance, you have one of these dual function lights like I was talking about, that outside storage compartment. So you see you got one, and then off, and then two. So one is just going to be on, that's just power, and then two is where it becomes dual function, and you use this motion sensing to turn itself on or off. Light switch here does your front bedroom. So up in the front bedroom, right above the head here, you do have this little antenna there. So basically once you have it turned on and hooked up, you're just going to kind of turn it around, looking for your best signal. Wherever you find it, you can leave it there. Before you go traveling though, you just want to make sure it's turned all the way with the arrows. Then you get some closet space back here. Little power outlet down at the end. The pocket doors are of course just sliding. The travel latch is right in the center there. You just slide those up and you can slide the doors. If you pick up the foot of your bed, you do get access to a little storage compartment there. The TV backer in the bedroom here is actually between the pocket doors there, so you'd have one that kind of extends out a little bit, and then you have your outlets for it up top. Same sort of closet space on this side here. And the emergency, well, firstly, your blinds throughout the unit are just on the tension system, so they just sit wherever you leave them. Then the emergency exit, you're grabbing that red tab to get rid of the screen, taking this handle here, throwing it outside, hopping on out. The entertainment area, so you get a TV backer right here, of course, and then on the side here you get your power outlet for it. Cable and satellite outlet up top, and then down below it's your antenna outlet. Turning that thing on, you just hit that button there. Get that little light letting you know it is turned on. Your AV cables are hooked into your stereo already. Stereo itself, we just got the power button there to turn it on. Mode, you can cycle through all your modes, so you get radio, of course, you can get through all that. Then your auxiliary in is just over on the side here. TV, which is the AV cables as we said, and DVD and Bluetooth back into that. Alright. Volume controls over on the side, so mutes on the far side, up and down. And your seeks, you get into select, you get into all your settings. Zone 1 is the soundbar itself. Zone 2 is your outside set of speakers, and then the power button there, just turn it back off. A little bit of storage down below. And then just over on the left side there, you get your LP detector. It's a propane heavier than air to sit on the floor. That guy detects it and starts going off just like a smoke detector would. The smoke detector is right by the entrance to your bedroom. And then we'll come to the thermostat here. So you get your power button there, just going to turn that on. So power button is also going to be your mode. So you can see we're currently in cool right now. There's our fan speed currently in auto. For the fan speed, you can just hit fan, you can cycle through that, so you can select your hot, low, or high, or then just auto. Okay. Temp selections with the arrows, of course. With the air conditioner going, you basically got two different options. You got a louver here, you can have that opened up, in which case we're just dumping all of our air into the living room, or you can close it off and it starts using all of the ceiling ducting to move its air. After cool, if we hit mode, it'll come down into heat, so it'll turn off the air conditioner and turn on the furnace. You don't have any fan speed control over furnace, it's just on is on. It's a little warm in here, so it may or may not turn on, but it should actually. There we go. Alright, so throughout the unit you'll find these little black portals. Those are what your furnace is all ducted to. Now the first couple of times you run that furnace you may get a bit of a smell throughout the unit. It's just the new furnace smell, it will go away. After heat, if you hit mode again, it'll come down into fan, so at that point you're just moving some air around with the air conditioning fan. You can select your low or high fan, just whatever you like. Hit mode again, it'll come down into dry, so at that point it'll just kind of turn everything else off. It'll just run the air conditioning fan on low and run the compressor as well, just to get rid of any humidity. After that, if you hit mode again, it'll come up into cool, and you can just press and hold power, and it turns itself off. The kitchen here, so you get your storage up top. Inside of there you're going to find that binder. That binder's got all of your owner's manuals, any keys, any remotes for the unit, you'll find right in there. Underneath here, you get a little light there just on its own center push button. Then you get hot and cold water at the sink, the mobile head there. Access to that storage underneath the sink. Then you get your drawers here as well. Microwave up top. It's pretty standard, just like home. Down below that, you get your fan as well as the light. Bifold cover there, just flips on back. Then you get your little knobs there. You're going to press that in over the little flame, hit it with the igniter, which fires right up. I will just mention real quick that the first time you go to use your propane system, especially if you've been away from the unit for a while, it will take a minute to fire up just because it'll have to clear the air of the propane lines. It's perfectly normal. For the oven, you're just going to open that up, and then you can turn it over that little flame there, hit it with the sparker. And as I was saying, once it clears the air out of the propane lines, there we go. Once you get that flame going, you just want to hold the knob in for another couple of seconds, then you can release and the flame will hold itself. Turn up to your desired temperature and she fires right up. Once you're done, you can just turn it back down to pilot. It'll hold just the pilot light for you, but if you're traveling, you just want to make sure it's right off. Little switch on the side there, you can do either your knob lights or the knob lights in the oven. Down below the oven, we got your converter there, so you're just going to press the top and center. She pops on open. You get all of your breakers across the middle there. Whenever a breaker breaks, it's going to sit in the center, so just turn it off and then back on to reset it. And then on the right side, we get all of your fuses. Whenever a fuse pops, you're going to get a little red LED right beside it, letting you know exactly which one went. A bit more storage beside all that. You got another little light above the counter here. There's also a power outlet right in the back. And then a bit more storage up top. 12 volt fridge here, so as long as your batteries are charged or charging, this guy's going for you. Freezer up top, fridge down below. Temp selection's right across the top there. The return grill down below is of course just for your furnace. Then you get a little bit of pantry space over on the side here. The bunk spaces are both pretty well identical. Up on the wall here you get a little light just on its own center push button. USB outlet up here, 120 volt outlet up here. USBs down here. That is an emergency exit up top here as well. It's the exact same as the one up front where you're pulling the red tab and throwing the handle outside. Get a bit of doghouse storage down below. And this kind of bed here, if you just pull that up, this is kind of a half sheet of plywood right there. If you just lift that up, you get access to your hot water tank in the back corner there. And then into the bathroom. So inside of here, both of your lights are on those own little switches there, so you have the motion sensing function there. You got a medicine cabinet. Down below that you get your monitor panel. So on the bottom right you get your water pump switch. So you're just going to turn that on, turns on your water pump, drawing out of your fresh tank to pressurize your lines. The monitor system, so batteries in the bottom there, so you can see we're currently C for charging, G would be good, F is fair, L is low. For your fresh tank, as you fill that up, you'll go to a third, 2/3 and full. Same idea for your black and your gray. Beside that is your hot water tank controls. So on the left there you get that little thunderbolt, just letting you know you're running on electricity. Turn that on, fires it up with electricity. Then on the right side you get your propane, so turn that on, fires up on propane. If you were to ever get that little red light in the middle there, it's just letting you know it hasn't fired up. At that point, just off and back on to reset it. Hot and cold water at the sink. GFR protected outlet beside it, so you get test on the left, reset in the center there. So if you ever have outlets that don't work, it's the first thing you should check. Toilet there just flips on up and you get your flusher front and center. In the shower you get the stainless head and hose, and then up above that you get your roof vent, so you just turn that knob to open it up. In the back corner you get the switch, turns on the fan. And really that's about it for this unit. So if you got any other questions on the unit, please feel free to give us a call, 204-237-7272.